Hello, I'm a little shy FIM. Just kidding. I bet I trolled you really hard there. I bet for a second you were like, am I on the wrong channel? But no, I'm actually Comic Field, and today I review My Little Pony Friendship is Magic Season 6. So let's begin. So Season 5 was a 10 out of 10, however EQG 3 was only a 5 out of 10. You can tell that I believe the EQG thing is getting very way past tired at this point. Now Season 6 had a trailer that went like this. Seemed like Hasbro wanted this season to be big. And this was at the height of the Game of Thrones popularity, so that makes sense. And also around the time Deadpool vs. Pinkie Pie released the Death Battle. While the Brony fandom by 2016 was nowhere near at the same height as it was during 2012, it was still a cultural phenomenon anyway, that captured the eyes and hearts of many. Now that Flurry Heart was starting to become a thing, people knew that things were about to get interesting. Now onto the episodes. The Crystalling. MLP's got a newborn cutie. No, not that one. There we go. Her Highness Crown Princess of the Crystal Empire and Equestrian Princess of Cuteness, Flurry Heart. The baby shower, or basically for a Princess of the Crystal Empire, is known as a crystalling, as the title would imply. Contrary to popular belief, I don't think Flurry was made for toys. I mean, if she was, we would have seen a lot more of them, wouldn't we not? I mean, there's only like 3 or 4. I think it was more a marketing thing than anything. Flurry is like totally adorbs, though. It's the weakest season opener so far, though. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. The Gift of Maud Pie, a Maud episode. We all love these. Pinkie and Maud are trying to get each other gifts, with Rarity helping Pinkie because she wants to open a Manhattan chapter of her boutique. She wants to get Maud a rock pouch, and goes all across Manhattan to get it, but the store was closed, so Pinkie does have to find someone with a rock pouch, but with a catch. She has to barter her cannon for it. So she gets the pouch, but is also sad. So they swap after the greatest piece of music ponykind has ever sung. It's the Pie Sister Swap Day song!
Hey.
Okay, time to swap presents!
Turns out Maud got her confetti for her cannon, and the cannon was already been sold. So they spill the beans and tell Maud what happened. So Maud makes the most scary face known to ponykind, and she gets the cannon back. Rarity also found a good spot for her boutique, so yay. 9 out of 10. On your marks. Get set, go. This is CMC episodes will be from now on. They try to help others get their cutie marks. This episode's pretty average, though. I feel like the Cutie Mark Crusaders work better without their cutie marks. While there are some good CMC episodes going forward, I feel the CMCs would have been better as once in a while major side characters going forward. The episode itself's pretty okay, though. 6 out of 10. Gauntlet of Fire. A great episode. Spike is being summoned to the Dragonlands. Every dragon, even immigrants to other lands, have been summoned to their homeland to help in the succession of the Dragon Lord. Unlike other monarchies, Dragon Monarch isn't succeeded by hereditarianism, and unlike a republic, they're not elected either. Here, dragons must race to become the Dragon Lord. So it's kind of like Viltrum, I guess, in that the strongest has to be the leader. The thing where dragons are abroad are summoned to, it reminds me of the weird American tax system where you're forced to pay taxes when you're living abroad. But still, 10 out of 10. Side note though, what if you want to move to a country like China, and when you don't pay your taxes to America, you seek the Chinese government for help? I have a feeling it'll break the whole ass system, but I'm not gonna risk it by moving to a communist country though. No Second Prances. This is the episode that calls out Twilight's bullshit from season 1. Starlight is instructed to find new friends, so Starlight finds Trixie, and they become friends. Twilight gets flabbergasted, and Twilight's hypocrisy and what I previously criticized is finally solved here. The 3 make amends, hooray. Also, Derpy appears. 8 out of 10. Newbie Dash. Rainbow Dash finally joins the Wonderbolts. After an accident where she falls into a trash can, they give her a nickname, Rainbow Crash. This is the most accurate portrayal of military nicknames I've seen in the show, because in action shows it's usually something badass, but in the real army, or at least the US Army, soldiers usually get funny nicknames. For example, my dad in the service during the Cold War was called Watergate. It was in the 80s when the Watergate controversy was still in recent memory. But yeah, Rainbow Dash had a childhood bully nickname, which was Rainbow Crash. And so she interprets it as them trying to be mean. But
Well, look at the bright side. At least they didn't call you Rainbow Trash.
now at the end of the episode, where it's revealed that they all have goofy nicknames. 9 out of 10. A Heartwarming Tale. The Token Christmas Carol episode. One of the best stories ever written, in my opinion. Like, seriously, get the original book a read. I swear I'm not an egghead. It has a great song, a great idea, and of course, it's silly moments. It does have Twilight being in it, so obviously it'll have dorkiness. 10 out of 10. Second best of the season, in my opinion. Also, another derpy appearance. Yay. Saddle Row review. I can't help but think there was a similar idea to this episode in an earlier season, but I can't put my finger on it right now. I don't think there is, though. This is kind of a sequel to Gift the Mod Pie, featuring Rarity's new boutique. It features the main six being interviewed. This episode has the funniest joke in the season so far, as well as the greatest song ever conceived. Besides that, though, it's just your average Rarity fashion episode. Nothing wrong with that, though. 8 out of 10. Applejack's day, quote-unquote, off. This episode has a nice, simple, but good plot, based around Rarity wanting to have a nice, relaxing day with Applejack, while Twilight and Spiky Wikey have to take care of the farm in her place. Applejack overthinks things, and Rarity tries calming her down, even at the spa. It's okay, but it's nice. 7 out of 10. Flutter Brother. An episode about freeloading and getting a job. Did the creators take inspiration from SpongeBob here? This kind of reminds me of Kidney's Paradigm, except if Squidward was more of a loser that scrolls through 4chan, or what do kids use now? TikTok? And if SpongeBob was Squidward's brother. If this episode obviously isn't as good as Kenny's Paradigm, I mean, it's classic SpongeBob. Hardly anything can clash against those seasons. But I'll give it an 8 out of 10, though. I don't like Zephyr Priest, but I wasn't meant to, so yeah. Spice up your life. It's the episode with the Indian restaurant in Camelot. Well, obviously it's not India in this, it's something else, but okay. But I love this episode, though. It shows the bring culture to cities, especially one so high class the food is just basically mush. I mean, that's not really accurate to what actual high class food is. I mean, have you seen what the French eat? I don't care if it's a snail. If it tastes good, it tastes good. Food is food. But it is just a cartoon, so 9 out of 10. Stranger Than Fanfiction. An episode with fanfiction in the title and a potty pillow. Damn, okay, Hasbro, you really cool with this one, huh? I like this episode, though. It's got a message I've never seen done anywhere else besides My Little Pony. That being people in a single fandom can like said thing differently. Damn, Star Wars fans and Paper Mario fans really need to watch this episode. 10 out of 10. The Cart Before the Ponies. I like the first part of the episode, but not the second part. I like the parts where the CMC designed their cart and stuff, but I don't like how the adults kind of just make the whole thing about themselves. I know that's the point of the episode, but I still don't like it, 5 out of 10. 28 pranks later. The episode where Rainbow Dash pranks everybody a whole bunch, so all of Ponyville get back at her by pulling a town-wide prank on her. This episode is very popular. I don't love it as much as everyone else, but I still like it. It has cute Pinky, Rainbow being a troll, and an interesting story. 8 out of 10. The Times. They are a changeling. This is the episode where Thorax is introduced. He's a changeling rebel who's opposed to Chrysalis's regime and went to hiding in the Crystal Empire. Now, this is a doozy of an episode. In Season 2, we didn't see Chrysalis get defeated absolutely. Rather, we saw her just attacking Camelot and escaping. Kind of like what the Germans did in World War II when they attacked London without invading Britain. I mean, they had the Operation Sea Lion, but that was postponed. And all attacking London did was just make the British more determined to defeat the Germans. Same with here, where attacking Camelot, all that did was just make the equestrians more determined as well. This episode does also have a good lesson. Just because you meet someone from a country considered your country's enemy, that doesn't mean they're a bad person. I've known plenty of Russians, Chinese, Iranians that aren't representative of the repressive governments at all. 10 out of 10. Dungeons and Discords. Parody Dungeons and Dragons. Thing about it, considering how Hasbro owns D&D, they could have just called it D&D. I mean, they didn't. They just gave it another name to not seem too meta, I guess. But yeah, this is a great episode, though. It's a token Discord episode of the season, and like most others, it's fantastic.
Say that again?
It's fantastic.
Yes, it is. Guys, I got it. Ready? Yeah.
I also like that they got Big Mac involved. Interesting to see them use characters that aren't just the main six or the CMCs. Admittedly, my favorite scene wasn't during the gameplay, though it was actually the casino scene. In my original Discord ranking, I gave it a 9 out of 10, and I stand by it. Buckball season, just a token sports episode. I'm not a giant sports person. In fact, my favorite part of the World Cup and the Olympics tend to be the fact that they're the only times in history where we as countries can just lay down our guns and play some games rather than just the games themselves. The episode itself is good, though, although I don't have much to talk about it. 8 out of 10. The Fault in Our Cutie Marks. So earlier in a more mid-episode, I had stated that the CMC's new role isn't as interesting as it was before when they didn't have their marks. But here they do something interesting. A Griffin, Gabby, not only retcons a weird thing where all Griffins are grouchy assholes, but also she desires her cutie mark of her own, even though Griffins don't have them. And in the end, she becomes an honorary member, and they even give her a sticker for her bag that resembles a cutie mark. That's just wholesome. 9 out of 10. Viva Las Pegasus, a Flim and Flam episode. We don't see these much. This is about them getting into a big fight, and the map makes a point of making Applejack, along Flutterfloof, get them back together despite Applejack's disliking of them. I give it a 7 out of 10. It's alright, although besides its setting, it does kind of retread old ground, though. In my opinion, anyway. Every little thing she does. I love this episode. It's the one where Starlight puts a spell on everybody so that she can do all the activities at the same time. It's so simple, yet so freaking hilarious. Now, if you excuse me, I'm sorry, but I have to go bake a cake right now. I mean, after all...
After all, it's a piece of cake to bake a pretty cake.
10 out of 10. PPOV. Not a big fan of this one. I just don't like when cartoon episodes just make arguing a main plot point about something. It just gets annoying and it's too real, you know? Like, it works in a drama show, but, you know, still. I do like the pirate aesthetics, though. The idea of pirates in MLP is intriguing to me, because the setting of MLP kind of reminds me of the height of piracy in real life. I mean, most of the Caribbean and the Mediterranean. I'll give the rest of it a 4 out of 10, though. Where the Apple Lies. This is kind of an origin story for Applejack's element, and I love that. We don't really see Applejack's episodes being about her having to live up to her element as much as, say, Fluttershy, where almost every episode starring her, she has to live up to her element and have to be assertive and stuff like that. 8 out of 10, though. It's pretty great. Pop Bolt, I mean. This is the episode of Vapor Trail. This is an interesting idea, although she and her partner were one-time characters as far as I can recall. But since Rainbow Dash is now a part of the Wonderbolts, we'll see more Wonderbolts characters. Vapor is cute, and I'll give it a 9 out of 10. To Where and Back Again, an epic. In my opinion, anyway. Trixie, Starlight, Discord, and Thorax have to infiltrate the Changeling Kingdom and reform the Changelings to end the threat once and for all. This is built up pretty good. Since the Season 2 finale, the Changelings and Equestrians were basically in a state of war. I believe this to be the best Season 6 has to offer. That's common for MLP seasons, the finales being the best, but I can't help it. I love this type of stuff. It has my two favorite characters, Derpy and Discord, so what's not to love? 10 out of 10. And here's our ranking. So overall, Season 6 is a step down from Season 5, having less 9s and 10s. However, it is still overall an enjoyable experience. I'll give the season overall a 7 out of 10. Better than Season 3, though. It seemed with Season 6 they wanted to expand MLP's world, not just in terms of grandiose stories about foreign lands, but in small things, like having Spike enjoy tabletop games or giving Daring Do a fandom similar to that of the Brony fandom. See y'all in well, let me just check what I have next here. Uh-oh. Subscribe for more horse.